Yo.
Hey, everybody.
What the hell was that?
That was a dope ass intro followed by excitement. You know what I'm saying? Right. How y'all doing, man?
I'm good, man. Watching this hose job.
Right.
Super Bowl. You know.
I'm good as well.
Yes, sir. So, Sherm, what it is, man? Let them know what the situation is.
As far as what's going on. Hey, well, so welcome back to another episode of Three the Odd Way podcast. We got your three hosts here. It's me, Sherm the Barber. We got Stan Substantial and Jay Cash in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not as easy as it looks, huh, man?
No, it's not. But yeah. So how was everybody's weekend? It's been a little wet and soggy, but how's it been though?
Man, how you start off with a deer and headlights on the intro though, man? Like, God damn.
Yeah, just you wait. Just you wait. I'm like, man, what did I do? I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah,
man.
That's what happens with a later start, huh?
You know, folks tired. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long day, but we good. The weekend's been cool, man. Just been chilling. You know, excited. Been looking forward to today. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got a surprise for folks, and I'm excited for folks to hear from this brother, man. So yeah, you know, sure. You want me to just go ahead, or we what? Anything else? Any little things we got to check off? We just gonna jump into it.
I mean, ain't been nothing. I mean, I could. What's that?
There is something. Yes, today. Well, technically, by the time everyone hears this, it will be tomorrow. So, you know, I definitely wanted to start out real quick by definitely giving a quick major shout out. And let me get our screen situated so it's right. But yeah, today is and for those of you who are watching tomorrow, obviously, which will be today for y'all, it is February 7th, and that means that it is Jay Dilla and Nujabes's birthday. So definitely, before we jump into things, man, just a happy birthday shout out to two legends. You know, both were heroes for me in the music biz, and I was blessed enough to call one of them a friend. Rest in peace to Nujabes, Jen Sabah, and rest in peace to Jay Dilla, man. But yeah, just wanted to start the show out with that before we kind of jump into things. And obviously, when we bring our guest on, we'll definitely talk to him about these legends, just to see how maybe they influenced and maybe, you know, so what some of his favorite moments were in both artists' careers, albums, and all of that stuff. So. But on that note, you know what I mean? I definitely wanted to do that before we bring this amazing brother on. And ladies and gentlemen, the brother that we got coming up, let me get this image up. You know what I mean? So size it real quick. Bong, bong. That guy right there. Look at that sweater, though. That sweater, you know what I'm saying? Getting that sweater, though. Yeah, man. Hey, so this brother, man, listen, Born in Philly, Raheem Jarbo is a Penn State University graduate, former special education teacher, and moonlights as Mega Ran. I feel like he does a lot more than moonlighting as Mega Ran. But this teacher, rapper, hero is now an author as well. Clap it up for that. You know what I mean? Raheem is a 6-time Billboard charting hip hop artist, a trailblazer in the music subgenre of nerdcore hip hop, and the first artist to ever be licensed to a major video game developer. The 2-time Phoenix News Times Rapper of the Year, lives in Arizona with his wife of 5 years, and she's good people as well. And you can find him online at megaran.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your love for the homie Mega Ran. Yo, Ran.
Oh man,
What it is?
That was a beautiful, beautiful introduction. I
Hey man.
it.
Hey, it's all love, brother. You see, look, even had the shirt repping. You know what I'm saying?
Repping the team.
Repping the team, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yo, it's good to see y'all, man, and good to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Our pleasure, man. Our pleasure. You know, but yeah, man. So like you got a lot going on right now, and it's always, there's so many different places to start, and a lot of the people who know who you are, they know about your career as a pioneering MC in the nerdcore subgenre. But like this new thing you're doing right now is major, man. Let me hold that up.
Hey,
the screen.
I got one here for you too.
Oh,
so
yes.
Yeah, man. The book Dream Master is out now. You can go get it, dreammasterbook.com. I wrote a memoir. This is something I've been working on for probably the last 6 or 7 years. It's transformed a whole lot, you know, from the beginning. It was just short stories. It was just tips for like indie artists. Through a lot of my stories, I think storytelling is one thing that I've been really blessed at. You know, even when I was teaching, I love telling stories and anecdotes and, you know, making real life applications to things. So, so I just was writing and jotting, and things just picked up from there. And next thing you know, I had 250 some odd pages, and I hired a couple of editors to take a look, and like just as of maybe this past fall, they were like, man, I think you're done. Like, you're ready to go. So that's one positive of the pandemic. I think being home and having that time to work on this for sure. But yeah, this is very scary because there's a lot of personal business in here. Like I feel like my music's an open book, but no, this is literally an open book. So it's a whole different world, you know. Like, I thought the conversations were like a little awkward now with fans, you know, who'd be like, "Oh, how's Rachel?" or, you know, "How's your dog?" You know, and I'd be like, "What?" You know, like, "Oh yeah, you know those things, you know, from a post." You know what I'm saying? But now it's gonna be like, "So that thing that happened in 5th grade, that was crazy, right?" You know, and I'm gonna be like, "Yo, like, relax," you know. So it's, you know, I've always been comfortable with sharing, you know, because of the stories I've had with people where they're like, yo, they can relate to it. They've seen similar things, but this is a whole new level. So it's very scary. So it's kind of a good thing that we're not able to go out and be face to face with people right now.
Word, man. Word. But yeah, again, man, congratulations. Like I've been reading it now for a little while. Thank you for my copy, good sir. I appreciate that, and also what you said in the note that you sent with it. But dude, it's an excellent, it's really well written. Like, it's very engaging, man. Like, I love the background that you gave in terms of like you know, where you were at certain points and what kind of motivated you to pursue music. Also you know, some of your tales or whatever from your experiences, you know, in elementary school, different things you witnessed and some trauma that you experienced as well. Yeah, it's just powerful, man. It's powerful. There's a part in it that I wanted to bring up, man, because we got a few brothers here, and I definitely wanted to I know I've been the main one reading it, man, and there's a quote that you have about your mom, man. Where you basically talk about like how like how your mom's rules and different things, like, how they affected you and how they kept you in check and stuff. But, you say, looking back, I see that my mom raised me. So when I sacrifice a little for her peace of mind, I wouldn't regret a thing. And I still don't. Dude, like that line right there, man. Like I had a moment, bro. Like it was like, yeah, it was definitely it's definitely something that resonated with me because similar to you, like I was raised by a single mother. My dad was in the picture for a minute, and they parted, went their separate ways. It was a physically abusive relationship at times, and sometimes and frequently verbally abusive. But definitely that line, man, like, when it's just you and mom and like you passing up on doing certain things with the homies or like different people and stuff just so you can kind of make mom sleep easy, man. And it's something I think a lot of black women like who are raising sons definitely like could appreciate that line because they lose a lot of sleep, bro. Like, just
man, we be out into all types of things, so but yeah, I just think about all the sacrifices that she made for me, like I talk about it in the book. Like she's worked probably 2-3 jobs for the majority of my life, like to the point where I never even saw her during the week. I'd only see her on the weekends, and like, or she'd pop in real early to wake me up for school and then be right back out. And so, I think about all those sacrifices and how those led to me having, the sneakers I wanted, the clothes I wanted, the Transformers, the video games I wanted, the college education. So the least I could do is make some of those tough decisions coming up where, I'm going to do what I can to make sure she knows exactly where I am and she can feel good about what I'm doing, in the streets. And I heard it all, mama's boy and this and that, from the homies. But like, I realized that, just from so much that she gave to me, like the least I could do is give the slightest bit back if that was just some sort of comfort, for her.
Yeah, man. No, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. But Sherm, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah. So I don't have your book yet, but so my introduction.
Should have told me. I'd have sent it all to y'all. My bad.
Oh man,
I'll send you a digital copy. I got you.
Hey.
Way to make me feel like a bad friend, Rand.
Well, since Stan wasn't sharing with the homies, I gotta.
I've seen your book cover via StreamYard meetings several times, but never invited to a copy via Stan. But
this is an excellent book. Y'all really should check it out.
Y'all should check it, man. It's good, man. Y'all miss it out.
Okay, all right. But I did get an introduction to you through your music, which is the way I get most of my communications anyway. I'm a music fiend. So I basically started off going into listening to your work as homework. And because this is not typically the genre that I am into, the whole nerdcore. I respect it, but I have never really delved into it. Stan always suggests songs and things like that, and he plays the songs that he makes for games. I'm like, this is dope, but it's just not in my lane. But as I started getting into especially, so the first thing I heard was Black Materia. And like it is one of the most entertaining. Like I had so much fun listening to this joint, man.
Yeah.
Like,
thank you.
The story, like Mako Reactor. I fucking love that shit. Like the way it's like. So like I said, I've heard other nerdcore artists, but you have definitely transcended the bounds of nerdcore and I guess for lack of a better term, regular hip hop. So it's not not only did I get all of the the nerdcore culture in your music, but I also got bars. Like it's bars. Like, yo, it was, like I said, man, so much fun. And I listened to at least, I think I probably had to go through at least about three or four of your projects, man. Really enjoyed it, man. Really enjoyed your art, man.
That's what's up. I got a little worried or scared when you said you got into Black Materia first, because I'm like, for me, that was my main goal with it. Like, it's about a video game that like a bunch of people played and hopefully a bunch of people love. But I wanted to also make hip hop music for people who never played this game and just wanted to enjoy the music and the story. So that's super important. Yeah, that's important to me. Like, I don't want to make what I call Wikipedia raps, where it's like, hey, tell me about Goku. And it's like, all right, Goku came from this planet and blah, blah, blah. He's the strongest. It's like, oh, right. So like, I wanted to associate it with a lot of real life stuff. And I felt like in Final Fantasy, especially FF7, there's so many parallels. Like, I tell people like, yo, you could look at Shinra, the enemy in that, as Trump, and then just figure the rest out. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally like, imagine the 4 years of the Trump presidency, but as a role-playing video game, like trying to survive that era. You know what I'm saying? So like, that'll help you understand it. Like, it's a crazy story that gets a little bit twisted, but I wanted to make sure that the lyricism and the storytelling would be to the point where people have come to me all the time, like, yo, I've never even played this game, but this album's banging. So now I kind of want to play it, and that's where I'm hoping to get people at, like, I appreciate the nerdcore, label, as it, like, yeah, people need something to understand what people are creating, and associate it with something. So I do understand it, but like, I do want to say that what I create, or at least I try my best to make something that goes beyond that, and then it's like, what's beyond that? Is that normal rap? Is that regular rap? You know what I mean? Like, it gets crazy, because like the line gets blurred more and more every year. I think it's super dope as hip hop just grows and grows, man. Like, I don't know if y'all listen to JPEG Mafia, but like, Cat, he thinks he's from Maryland, and like, the music is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many different, reference points. There might be a little sound bite from a wrestling match, a sound bite from anime, a sound bite from a rock song, and then bam, just smashing them all together. So people are becoming a lot more bold with their reference points and their inspirations, and letting that be shown in their work. So yeah, man, hip hop is forever changing. So I'm just glad to do my little part,
So, you about to say something, Stan?
Nah. I was just agreeing with what he was saying. Just like, yeah, for sure.
So I got a question, man. Being from Philly, how did you, and being from Philly and choosing the hip hop's, I guess, subgenre that you chose, how were you able to stay inspired, and how were you able to remain strong enough? Because I know you had to get shit growing up in the streets of Philly, rapping about video games, bro. It's like, how did you stay the course, man?
That's a good question. Honestly, I had to leave. That's really good. I'm in Arizona now, and like, honestly, I don't think I had to leave for this to happen, but I really didn't see Philadelphia like opening up to this type of music, or this type of, just in general, like nerd culture, like really taking over like it did. I was like, oh, Philly, it'll never happen. Now, ironically, when I travel back, I'm like, yo, people are like, there's actually some really legit, like, there's comic artists that are coming up out of Philly. There's, cartoon writers and this and that, and other nerdcore rappers even coming out of Philly. So I'm like, wow, but I had to leave for that to kind of happen. So yeah, I didn't really figure this whole thing out until I had left. But what I was still trying to work it into my style when I was doing there, freestyle and open mics, whatever. But then you just randomly throw in, a bar about a game or something, and people are like, oh, and so that was just my thing. I would sprinkle it in here and there. But I had a lot of the homies tell me like, man, that ain't really hip hop, dog. Like, come on, man. That ain't hip hop, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man. Like Wu-Tang, like, come on, you gonna tell me Wu-Tang ain't hip hop because they're so inspired by kung fu flicks? Like, get out of here. So I definitely felt the push from like people in Philly being like, especially at that time, this is early 2000s. Philadelphia was Beanie Siegel, Freeway, Young Guns, and everybody that Jay-Z rapped with. That was Philly's hip hop.
Right.
So if you wasn't doing that, forget about it. So me, I was just making beats at that time because I knew like everybody was into like the sampling soul records and speeding them up, the Kanye Just Blaze stuff. So I was just making beats at that time, but I would kind of sneak in my off time and write and record my raps. But I never thought nobody would want to hear them.
So you symbolically kept your chain tucked with your raps until you got out of Philly.
I mean, basically, yeah, like symbolically, I was walking around like, yeah, I ain't got nothing, you know what I'm saying? It was, I guess that's a good way of putting it, man. I never thought, honestly, that anybody would want to hear my stuff. And it was the internet that like really popped me off, you know, and like, and Stan can speak to this too, as being one of the like pioneering internet MCs, I would say. You know, the internet was the launch pad for us to be able to talk about the things we wanted to talk about with people who understood it and vibed with it, and like through message boards and, you know, through MySpace and things like that. And that's when I discovered people in, you know, Boston and Seattle and Japan was rocking with me, you know. So that happened before Philly got down for sure.
Sure, man. I wanted to kind of circle back and connect what we're talking about now to the book. There's an interesting part of the book where you talk about a really rough experience that you lived through that happened to a family member that you cared about, and how that connected to hip hop, and how that ultimately made you look at the direction you wanted to go, and what you were willing to talk about, what you were willing to glorify, and what you weren't willing to glorify. Could you speak a little bit more about that? I didn't want to give too much away because I know it's in the book, but I definitely want to hear from you about that.
No, it's a huge moment. I think I was a freshman in college, and my uncle was killed in Virginia, like at a rest stop. It was like a random killing, and it turned out they maybe like followed them a few miles down the road. He stopped. He was with my aunt and my cousin, a female, and they went to the ladies' room. He went to, you know, the men's room, and they followed him in there and shot him. And before that, you know, before they left Philadelphia, they were heading down south, he asked me, did I want to go? And I was like, nah, you know, I was chilling. I was writing raps with my homie and like playing video games, playing NBA Live or something. And so afterward, I was definitely in this moment of like just regret, like, man, I wish I could have been there. And then like, well, what if I was there? Like, I wouldn't be here, you know, like thinking of, like running, like as a 18-year-old trying to think of all these scenarios of how I could have made some sort of difference in this situation. And honestly, it was like, you know, on top of that, like these kids were like connected to hip hop, you know, they were like aspiring rappers. And like they thought for some reason that hip hop was about violence, you know, it was about like being tough, catching bodies, you know. And so then that just showed me like, wow, like this ain't really like what's up at all. And like, you know, like trying to glorify this or acting like it's cool. And so for me, I just took it very, very personally for myself and was like, all right, well, I know that if I'm gonna do this, like I'm not gonna be one of these guys making kids believe that this is the way to do it, you know, like this ain't the wave, like, you know. So I had to make a decision early on, like regardless of what, you know, what trinkets might lie ahead of taking that path, you know, that I can't do that. Like I just can't, because I know firsthand the power of that, you know, mentality. And I know a lot of there's two sides to that. People are always, you know, I think back to the Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model thing, you know, and I'm sure a lot of rappers feel that way too. Like, man, I'm not your kid's role model. Like, raise your kids, you know. But I mean, I know when I was young, I listened to my heroes more than I listened to my parents, you know, and I emulated them more than I emulated my folks. So yeah, whether you like it or not, you do have some sort of social responsibility, and what you choose to do with it is on you. But so yeah, man, it was kind of like my corner turning moment, like where I was like, all right, I can't put these images out into the world when it affects real people. Like that's the part I never really understood, not to knock like gangster rap or anything. But like, every gangster rapper has like a sad song on their album about the homie who got killed. And it's like, yo, don't you realize that like this is connected up? But anyway, so you know what I'm saying? I was like, I can't be a part of that. So that was kind of like my origin story, honestly. It was like, all right, well, this is the moment that's going to turn the corner for me. And so yeah, from there I made a decision to be different, and just to do whatever I felt comfortable doing, and not go outside of myself to please somebody or to sell records or anything like that. And so, just try to stick with that. But yeah, it's a shame that it took such a very tragic moment. But yeah, like that was just like, it just slapped me in the face, and I was like, yo. And on top of that, like during the court case, they like using their rap lyrics as evidence against them and stuff. And I was just like, yo, this is a lot. You know what I mean? And so it definitely hit me hard. And I'm like to myself, I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Like you still want to rap, like, so, it was a real come to Jesus moment, and I think I'm better for it, for the right reasons.
Raheem, you mentioned listening to your heroes as like your influences growing up. Can you speak a little bit to who you were listening to or who your heroes were at that time as you were coming up?
Oh man, Charles Barkley. Barkley was the GOAT. Like this is in Philly coming up, man. Philly, Barkley to Iverson to what I'm saying. Like we always had those guys with like a chip on their shoulder who handled business, but was like maybe undersized or looked a little different, and like succeeded, despite what people thought,
in spite of,
they should be doing. So that's the Rocky mentality in Philly, man. So like we've always felt like we have a chip on our shoulder, like we're in this invisible competition with New York and all these, and they didn't even think about us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just always what it was, man. And like, yeah, so coming up, it was sports definitely for me, and then music, like Wu-Tang, I said, and like Snoop, and like I was a big fan of Gang Starr, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, all that, and so yeah, it was, but a lot of it was sports for sure. Like I was seeing people like succeeding, despite, and I thought that was like dope.
Are you a Sixers fan now?
I am. They give me a lot of grief, but
they're doing pretty good right now.
They're doing all right now.
Yeah, so, number one in the East.
We're doing good right now. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed because man, I don't. At the end of the day, I really hope Ben and Joel can play together and be together for a while, but I don't know, man.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah, man. I got too much pain in my heart as a Philly fan. Like I can't trust anything.
I was about to say that's a man right there that's had his heart broken a couple times. You can hear it. You say hear the pain in his voice. Look, hey, look, man, we from the DMV, so like I don't really watch football anymore, but growing up rooting for the Washington football team,
Oh yeah, yeah. Dude,
loving a woman that don't love you back.
Yep. Wow. Last night, me and my wife watched the Michael Vick 30 for 30. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's amazing. It's 2 parts. You're gonna need a little time, but it's like 2 hours each part. But just seeing like, and they talked to Iverson in there too, and like he was just like, yo, that's the football version of me, like this is what I would, I told people like this is what I would do if I was on a football field. Like I'd be Michael Vick, Yeah. So it was pretty dope to watch. And then they get into those moments where McNabb is like doing a lot of talking too. And I didn't realize that their careers were so like tightly connected. And there's a point where McNabb gets traded to Washington, and I was like, I remember that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was something. That was something. But anyway, I want to bring back so many bad memories.
Here.
It's all good. Yeah, man. So with the pandemic and everything going on, bro, like, and you're somebody who probably tours, like you, Odyssey, and a few other brothers I know. Y'all probably tour like more than most of the artists that I've come across. And so I'm just interested to know, I mean, certain things I know, obviously, because we've had plenty of conversations, but I'm just interested to know if you could definitely share with people, like, how have you had to pivot, like, since all of this has been going on? Because I think this is when I went on your website the other day, I'm like, this might be the first time I've ever been on this man's website and it says no shows, no upcoming shows. That, like, and you're a dude who I feel like spends about half the year touring. So, like,
that's true.
Yeah. So how's it been? Like, what have you had to do?
This has been a huge adjustment period for sure. Like, I've literally been playing maybe 150 shows a year for the past like 3-4 years, maybe more than that. And so to cut that to zero is a huge thing. And we've had to make some major pivots. I think from the moment it started, like the pandemic came down, I was running into like what was going to be like my most successful month probably as a musician. Like, it was like crazy stuff happening. There was like 3 different conventions. It was right before South by. I told myself I'm not going back to South by unless they got money for me. And then I get a big offer and then it's all down, So crazy. I was like, just my luck. So yeah, man, but it forced me to get back into a lot of projects that I had set down and not really fully like fleshed out or worked on. One was the book, of course. And 2, I think, was streaming, like streaming live on Twitch. So I play video games. I love communicating with my fans and supporters. And I think the best way to do that is live streaming. So I started a Twitch channel a year or 2 before, maybe got on there once a week, play a game or 2, talk to people, whatever, film a live show. Like, I'd bring my camera with me on the road. But I wasn't really giving a lot of love. So I just was like, you know what? I'm practicing. I'm learning how to DJ. So that's another thing. So I was like, all right, well, I can practice live and just run the camera, So I'm getting in my reps and my time. I'm talking to fans. They can do requests and things like that. I'm learning at the same time. So it definitely forced me to give more effort to all of the other activities that I wanted to do. Streaming, writing the book, working on what else? Me and Young RJ of Slum Village finished up our album, which came out last May. And then we finished a follow-up, which will come out at some point, maybe this year. So yeah, it's just been a lot of like really concentrated time, because my wife was like, yo, this is the most time that we've seen each other like since we've known each other. Like, do you realize that? And I was like, yo. Wow. And like, we've known each other like 10 years. So like, wow. I was like, you're right. Like, she's like, because you're usually out, like you're on the road, you're doing stuff, whether it's a weekend tour or a 2-month tour. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. So we're kind of like getting to know each other all over again, which is pretty dope as well. So, well, we haven't killed each other yet, so it's all good. she ain't kicked me out yet, so we're doing okay. But right. Yeah, man, that was mainly it. The pivot for me was like, all right, I need to pivot towards the things that I like just strengthening the things that I'm already good at, which I think are like talking to people. Like, I need to be able to get in a room and talk to people. So even if it's a virtual room, just having conversations online, playing live shows, like myself, MC Lars, Fun a Lot, have done nerdcore concerts on live stream once a month. We call them the Four-Eyed Horsemen. And we just came up with this little cool little gimmick, and we just like the last Saturday of every month, but we're doing it about 8-9 months now. And we play a paid show where people pay an amount. They get access to a stream link. You get to talk to us. We put exclusive merch in there. And Yeah, and that's we give them something, and they give us something, which is that feedback that you need sometimes as an artist. You need to be able to talk to people like, yo, please tell me I don't suck. Like, tell me I'm good, And like I need to keep those reps up for when we do get back on the road. We want to still be sharp with our music and things like that. So the pivot for me has been streaming live concerts, and I started a podcast, Random Encounters, where I talk for a few minutes with people just about whatever they're going through. I've been like interviewing friends or wrestlers that I really like or DJs, and just talking to people about how their lives changed during this time. So it helped me to finish a lot of projects. Like, as much as I wish I was on the road, these projects wouldn't have got done. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have that time.
Yeah. It's crazy. One of the things that I've said a lot since the pandemic has been going on, man, is that I'm just grateful that I'm locked down with people I really like. You know what I mean? Like,
that's facts. Like, imagine
yeah.
imagine you had just started dating somebody, right? Like right before the pandemic goes down. Or like you were just about talking about moving in together or something, and then this happens, and you're like,
break up.
It's over. Like,
break up right then and there.
You gotta just end it.
The whole relationship.
It's a wrap. Like, I can't even imagine like dating right now or attempting anything like that. Like, that would be crazy. So like, I'm very fortunate, like you, that to be locked down with people you enjoy their company. Because if you didn't, man, I don't know what would happen.
It's rough. Yeah, there was a couple I saw on the news that they went on vacation somewhere. They just started dating, and they went on a vacation like maybe a week like after they started dating, and then that country shut down, and the U.S. wasn't letting people back in. So like, they ended up being stuck in a foreign country with someone they just started going out with for like months.
Nah,
Crazy.
Wow.
I'm getting a whole different hotel.
Right.
Right.
Depending on how your bank account set up,
yeah, that's true.
Right.
So I might find me a family to live with then.
Bruh, it's too real. There's a movie to check out too. A movie called Lockdown, which is about a couple who was together for a long time, but literally was hating each other's guts, and they were on the verge of breaking up. And then the lockdown happened, and they couldn't.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I saw it on the choices or whatever.
Yeah, the joint is really good. It's a really excellent movie. Anne Hathaway stars in that joint with the brother from Doctor Strange, whose name I will not butcher at this moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So how we looking on time, or we need to transition?
We're doing good. I mean, we could transition. I know. I definitely want to get in some sports talk with him as well. Let Cash handle that. You know what I mean? So who said we can go ahead and transition now if you are ready, good sir.
Yeah, I just wanted. Oh, go ahead, Sherm.
No,
you ain't drinking nothing tonight. How you not drinking nothing on Super Bowl Sunday?
Who's not drinking? I'm drinking, but hey. I'm always drinking.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. Swear. So Raheem, you know Austin Creed? Can you tell me how that whole thing developed? The wrestler?
Oh yeah, shout out to Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, 1/3 of the New Day WWE tag team. So yeah, man, we met. Sheesh, it was a while ago now, maybe 5-6 years ago. He sent me an email out the blue. Was like, hey man, like I'm a wrestler. Just wanted to know if I could use some of your music to like come out to the ring to. And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, no problem. So I give him some music. He does some independent matches where 50, 60, 70 people out there, and he comes out to my music. And I'm like, oh, that's what's up. And he was like, yo, I just realized I didn't do any paperwork with you for this, just to make sure if any like royalties come in, I could pay you. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So he sends me a piece of paper, and the paper has WWE's logo on top. And I was like, what's this? And he's like, oh yeah, my company just got bought by WWE. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to change this company into this other company called NXT. And I was like, oh wow, okay. So we do that, and we meet. He's in Orlando for a lot of the wrestling matches, and Orlando is like one of my better markets. So I'm out there 2-3 times a year. So he comes out to some shows. We're hanging out, and he's like, yo, I got these ideas. I think they're going to move me up to Raw. I don't know what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But he likes video games. I like video games. And that's the short of it, is that all we do is just talk video games. And yeah, and so he's introducing me to other wrestlers and telling me about things. And he's like, oh, here's this guy, he would bring wrestlers to my shows. And I was like, oh, these guys, I know them. I see them on TV,
Right.
And so, yeah, man, he's just been like a really good friend as far as like getting me like into like really cool like situations that we've done together, like wrestling music collabs, or just telling people like that he thinks I'm dope, which I think is like really cool. So yeah, man, we've had a lot of great adventures over the years, but it all started because he just hit me up like, yo, I like Mega Man, you like Mega Man, I feel like we should be friends. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. You know what I mean? Like, black nerds got to stick together. So that's kind of how it is. We just all start running into each other, and being cool. So yeah, he's a real dude, like a real good dude, man. And I appreciate him looking out for me.
Okay. So what's your favorite genre? I know you play a lot of video games. What's your favorite genre, would you say?
I think I like old school platformers, like Mario style.
Okay.
A lot of running and jumping and stuff. I just started playing this new game. It's a new game, but it's built like an old game. It's called Cyber Shadow. It's like a ninja game, like Ninja Gaiden. Okay. And if you remember that game back in the day, it was like super hard, doing flips and throwing stars, and
classic.
Yeah. It's a classic, So this game is new, but it plays just like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's just super hard. But yeah, I like old school style games like that. Running and jumping. Those are probably my favorite.
But I see you rocking a Parappa the Rapper.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Stan and Sherm, they don't recognize that, but that's Parappa.
Oh, nah.
Oh yeah, that's
what on the hat?
Yeah, legend. Yeah, that's one of the first video games that I remember that actually featured you rhyming.
Yeah, it was like the first like hip hop game, It was a little silly, but like I thought some of the ideas were really dope. Like the dude would do a move and you had to follow him and rhyme it, like hit the button on time to do it. And that kind of paved the way for a lot of the the Rock Band, the Guitar Heroes, all the other Dance Revolution, like all these other things that were happening with rhythm in gaming. So they need to do a new one. I don't know why they haven't yet, but
they probably don't feel like they had an audience for it. But I would check for it because I remember back when I was 18. A long time ago.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm glad you peeped that.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question, Raheem?
Of course.
With all these, I keep asking, but with all these accolades, like you've been involved with WWE, you've been involved with the gaming world. Like, do you ever feel like you are blurred God? Do you feel
blurred God?
Be real.
Yo, I like that. Hashtag blurred
God. Hey, sound like a song, bro.
That might have to be a song. So, I'll say stuff like that when I'm writing bars. I'll be like, oh man, I gotta be the GOAT, and stuff like that. I'll say those things just, tongue in cheek in bars. But nah, man, I'm very humble and like grateful for anything I've been able to get, because I feel like this is so unexpected. Like everything is, you know what I mean? Like I never thought there was a market, a space for this type of thing to ever pop up, especially in music, and to the point where like I'm at the right level of famous, where like I can go grocery shopping, I can do everything I need to do with no problem. You know what I'm saying? But I go to a Comic-Con, I'm like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be like, whoa, watch out. Coming through, hold up. Like I've seen people literally do that at MagFest. Be like, yo, I'll be like, I have to get from this end of the hall to that end of the hall, but I literally can't walk, or somebody's gonna stop me every 2 seconds. So I need y'all to just block me while I do it. You know, so like, yeah, I have to be in a very unique situation to be a superstar. So I'm all for that, man. I went to the movies. This is a long time ago, but we went to see, must have been Spider-Man, Spider-Verse a couple years ago. And like somebody noticed me in a dark movie theater out here. It was like, Mega Man? And I'm like, man, get out of here. Like, how? You know what I'm saying? So like, stuff like that'll happen, and I'm like, all right, well, I was going to see a Spider-Man movie. Okay, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? So like, I have to be specifically in my niche to have any weird stuff like that happen. So I like that. I love it. I can be out in the rest of the world and nobody cares. And it's like, you know, I'm very lucky to be able to like pay my bills and feed family with this. And that's really all I ever wanted, you know, is to be myself and for that to be enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get caught up in so many ideas of what Black masculinity is, you know what I'm saying? Or like what a Black dude is supposed to be doing or sounding like or acting like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I've hit walls like that my whole life where they're like, nah, man, this ain't right for you. You shouldn't be, you know, and like, why can't people be well-rounded? Like, why can't people like, you know, comic books and hip hop? Why can't people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. So I had to reach out, and luckily the internet was where I found my audience, you know. But Blurred God sounds good. It has a ring to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You can have it. You can have it. Right.
I appreciate it. I might have to name like a little freestyle that or something, man.
Yeah, bro.
Just do it. You know, like I like having fun with that in a joking sense. Like, you know what I mean? I just remember a long time ago hearing like Nas. I don't know if y'all remember this when Nas was like, he went on his like radio rampage, but this was like when him and Jay-Z were beefing. And like he got kicked off Hot 97 or something, and he went to the other station to Power and was like, man, I'm tired of what's going on over at that station. I'm tired of hearing these rappers come and talk about rims on their truck and how much money they got. He's like, man, save that for your records. Like, if you want to floss, that's fine. But like, what is the point of that in an interview? Like when you're somebody's attempting to get to know you, like why the flossing? You know, so like that kind of stuck with me. I was like, yeah, I guess he's right. You know what I mean? Like, who needs to see that in that outside of the music? You know what I'm saying? So so yeah, man. So if I floss a little bit, it's usually just in, you know, tongue in cheek and in a rhyme. But yeah, Blurred God has a nice ring to it.
Saying that's shirts, yeah, a song, yeah, man, a hat, you know.
Yeah, I think so. Know? That's the merch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
Yeah. So Raheem, what game was Black Materia written for?
Final Fantasy VII, which came out originally in 1997 for the first PlayStation. It was like the game that like changed the game, you know. It was 3D role playing, you know. So before that, role playing was like these little characters, a little fat with little feet, and then they made full characters, big old monsters, and like, so all the things that you imagine from like the books, you know, reading about wizards and Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, they were able to bring that to the screen. And the music was composed by a guy named Nobuo Uematsu, and like he killed it. Like, he's a goat in the soundtrack game. And so one of my homies out here, my man Cisco, I asked him like, yo, what if like we flip all the soundtrack and then I'll rap about the game, but then like from my perspective, because they had this one black character, Barrett, and he was a little bit of a stereotype. He was like a Mr. T type character. He was like, oh man, the damn fools, you know, and it was kind of stupid. So like, I was like, he got to be deeper than this. So I started going in, because like, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but like the way Japanese culture kind of views African American culture is a little, it can be a little problematic sometimes. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If me and Stan walk down the street right now in Japan, they might be like, it's 50 Cent and Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you be Drake. You be Drake, Stan.
Yeah, you definitely yeah, man. So like, I'm like, give him a little note, Drake. Give him something.
You're light skinned and big.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? You know what I'm saying? You know, come on, Cash.
Oh God.
Right.
But yeah, like we gotta like flip the narrative a little bit. Like they kind of treated him as this stereotype. So I was like, in the story though, he's also like a single father. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, that's a dope dynamic to talk about. Like you don't really talk about the black man being a single father. Like, okay, so let's get into this. So I started kind of digging into that for the story of the album. So a lot of it is so well layered and hidden that a lot of times people just think I'm just talking about the game, but I'm actually talking about the way black fathers are viewed, you know, or the way hip hop is viewed in a nerd space, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to be real creative with this stuff and still capture the essence of the game. So it turned out to be like my most popular album. Like a lot of people downloaded it, and it was the reason I quit my teaching job, was because the Black Materia album was kind of really popping off. And I was in school, like in a class, and people were texting me all day, like, "Oh my God, you're going viral! You're going viral! What's going on?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And it was from Reddit, and that was the first time I really heard about Reddit. And Reddit really got behind the song, and like it just took off. And like I was like, "All right, well." Once it hit the iTunes charts, and it was next to like Kanye and Lil Wayne on the rap charts, I was like, "Man, I'm out of here." So I was like, I bet they don't have day jobs. All right, I'm going. So that's what gave me the courage to be like, yo, I mean, if I never do that again, which I guess I'd never have, but if I never do that again, I know that there was a moment that like propelled me to kind of jump off the deep end and really, really make something out of this.
I mean, never though. I mean, you've been Billboard 6 times, and I don't even know if the 6 times include the time last year with the one joint we were on going.
It doesn't. That's right. That joint was like on the world charts, yo.
Yeah, so technically you 7 times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know,
You're right. Okay,
you know,
I got to put that in the next edition, second edition.
If you had a job to quit, you could quit that one too. You know what I'm saying? You out here living your best life. You know?
For real.
Yeah, man. But yo, I wanted to ask you, what was it? You were a second ago. You were when we were talking about that album and it popping off. Where you were talking about the story behind the character. You were just talking about like certain things that were odd. Which kind of, of course, we got a bunch of questions we wanted to ask. So one of the questions that we actually had that Sherm put in there is 3 odd occurrences or encounters. And like to make it more specific, since it's 3 the odd way, right? Like talk about, like being a black artist in a lot of these nerd spaces, especially like, because oftentimes, like, it's been my experience, right? And a lot of people's experience where it seems like sometimes white folks feel like they kind of own that space, you know what I mean? And so like, over the years, like, of course, it's become more diverse, but it's just like, when we're kind of coming in and doing what we're doing, or like people of color are cosplaying as certain characters. And of course, they're not painting their skin to make themselves look like these white characters. They're just dressing as the characters. Mm-hmm. We oftentimes kind of get, like we haven't always been, let me say it like that. We haven't always been accepted in these spaces as if certain people kind of own the nerd space. So what are, I guess, some of the most odd experiences you've had in these different spaces trying to come up as a black artist?
Okay, so I can start with probably the very first time I played a convention. I walked in and they had like a karaoke machine there for me to perform on. Like there was no sound system. They were just like, here you go. Like, well, I don't know what you need. And then like Yeah, so from there I was like, oh man, I need to start like creating like a rider and letting people know like the stuff that I need, because I don't know what they assume. Like, I mean, they just think I'm bringing everything, or that I don't need anything. Oh, I thought you would just beatbox or something. You know, I was like, come on, man. You know? Yeah, like come
do
on.
your thing, guy.
Just do that thing you do, you know.
Right.
So yeah, we've had issues with that for sure. But then moving on, I had a guy. Oh man, this is kind of embarrassing. So at least to him anyway. So this dude hit me up about a convention, and he was like, "Yo, I just saw the Black Panther movie, and I have been so moved. I mean, moved to tears." So we want to plan this Black Panther Welcome to Wakanda party at our convention.
Bro,
we need Black people. So God. Can you please help us get Black people to come to this convention?
Wow.
Oh God. And I was like, yo, for real? Like, what? Props to him for at least recognizing that you need Black people to do this, because like some folks would just do it and be like, yo man, it's just white Wakanda, like, you know what I mean? Like some people would just do it and like, look, we're diverse because we care, you know. I'm wearing a dashiki, you know, like it'd be something wild. But like at least the dude was like, we can't do this without Black people.
Right.
Problem is, I don't know any Black people. Right. And I was like, yo. So I was like, this feels kind of gross. Like, I mean, and maybe he meant well, but yeah, I just didn't feel right, man. I was like, I'm not going to be like your token representation. Like, I don't know. I just felt maybe, I don't know. Maybe I was tripping. Y'all could tell me, but like, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to introduce Black people to your thing just because you watch Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you the Harriet Tubman out here. Come on with me.
Come on. He got the good snacks over here. Come on, y'all. Like, no, man. Like, I just is like, I'm not in charge of your diversity department. Like, I can't do that. So like, that's probably one of the worst. But more recently, I guess a couple years ago, me and Lars did a show at the Gathering of the Juggalos. And I don't know if you've heard of this. This is, I think, Insane Clown Posse's yearly festival where, you know, if you know anything about ICP.
Fuckery.
Yeah, it's just wild. This is like, I mean, it's basically like the Fire Fest, like how the Fire Fest turned out to be. That's what they go there for every year. Like, they're like fine with it.
Knowing
like, yo, we gonna be in a tent and we out in the middle of the field, and it's muddy and dirty, but we get to see ICP. Who else showed up? Tech Nine played there, Ice Cube in the past. Like, they get big guests. So, but everybody's out in the dirt, just wilding. And you know, it's a lot of debauchery. So
stabbed or anything out there.
Right. So that's what people kept telling me, like, yo, you gotta watch your back out there, dog. Like, it's gonna be crazy. And so I'm thinking, like, oh Lord, why am I doing this? And so, but I gotta say, man, they showed me nothing but love. Like, it was a lot of love, and like, but you know, it's just these people probably aren't like the cleanest folks, but like they're very nice and enthusiastic. You know what I'm saying? So like, this one dude was like, hey friend, I you know, he just comes up to me like, yo, can I have a hug? And I'm like, it's like very filthy. And I was just like, you know what, man? Why not? You know, like, all right. And so then he's like, yo, he's like, well, now that we're friends, can I show you something? And I was like,
oh, please no.
I was like, I don't know, man. I really gotta go, you know. But he was like, this will be quick. But I just did something, and I'm proud of it. I want to show you my work. And I was like, all right. So this dude drops his pants and tells me that he had just pierced himself, and he wanted to show me that because he's very proud of it. And I was like, I really gotta go, man. And I just kind of broke off. But like it was just like, thanks, buddy. You know, it was crazy. So that's the kind of things you see out there.
So whole time you telling that, I'm like, oh, it would be so wild if he took him in the bathroom and showed him a turd shaped like an animal. But it's like you wouldn't think that it would be something that wild, and it was just something as wild.
Yeah, it was just as wild as that. Wow, like that. Oh wow. I don't think I would have walked in the bathroom with him, but yeah, man. And that's like, dude, we out in the public, like everybody around. He just like, look, man, whoop. And I was like,
oh man,
that's some Juggernaut Fest. I've seen plenty of YouTube video in them joints, man. Them shits is wild bananas,
wild, bro. And like, but again, they're very, very passionate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these are people that are, you know, maybe societal outcasts and don't necessarily have the most couth, but they just there to have a good time.
It's a lot of love, like, yeah, a lot of love.
Yeah, it's a lot of love. Like I'm sure I made a good amount of fans there, but like, yeah, it was just a wild experience. I was head on a swivel the whole time, you know. Yeah. So that's my 3 odd story.
Three the odd way. Yes. Oh man. God bless you, good sir.
Yeah.
So look, hey man, so was it we like, you know, if you've never listened to the show, like we typically obviously we talk music, we talk sports and all of that, and I'm sure Cash gonna have an update for us in a few minutes.
I don't want to talk about that shit. Go ahead.
Man, who's winning, the refs or the Chiefs?
The refs.
Bro, it's very apparent that everybody wants Tom Brady to win.
Oh my God. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it. In my sports group, I'm like, y'all don't see that this is like. Anyway, we're gonna get about that later.
I mean,
let's keep it moving.
Look, right. I mean, look, man, you know, I will say this real quick while we here, since y'all said it. I felt like that about this dude his whole career, right? Like, what was the first year the Patriots won the Super Bowl? Someone refresh my memory.
It was right after the 9/11 situation.
I'm just saying. I'm not Mr. Conspiracy Theory. I don't really do all of that, but I just found
it's marketing, man.
Dude, that's great marketing for the country.
Yeah,
it's great. Like the Patriots win the Super Bowl the year, like we seen one of the largest terrorist attacks ever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Not just that, they become a dynasty.
Yeah.
At that like, part, I don't feel like they could have written up, or even if you were going to write it, would you have the same dude go to 10 Super Bowls? Like it just feels obvious at that point.
Yeah.
It was mainly like the beginning. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, they were cheating. Yeah. That's why I always talk about the whole GOAT conversation. They cheated for him and allowed it for so long. I can't respect it. So, yeah, no. But nonetheless, this game is just about out of reach. 31-9.
Damn.
Oh, it's over.
3:58 left in the fourth. Flags are flying everywhere. People are mad. Tampa Bay fans are happy. Tom Brady fans are happy. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting week.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah, basically. On the basketball season.
Right. But yeah, man. So, hey, bro, wanted to we'll do some like lightning round questions before we let you go, and then I have something that's probably going to take a little bit longer to get into. So first things first, favorite video game all time, what it is. I got an idea, but you know, I don't want to think it's the obvious one. But
it's not as obvious as you think, because this changes often for me. I think a hallmark of a GOAT is a game that you can play anytime, no matter how you feeling. If you see it, you want to play it. And for me, it's not Mega Man. It's actually Super Mario 3.
With the raccoon tail.
That's
Tanuki.
Tanuki. Like that game, I gotta pick it up. I gotta play it. I love the music. I love the gameplay.
That's classic.
Yeah, it's the perfect game. You can be as bad as you want to be, or you can be as good as you want to be, and you'll still enjoy the fuck out of that game.
Yep. That's
mine is Mario Kart.
Oh, classic. Forever classic. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Cash, you would remember this. Remember Landover Mall, and I think it was Hex. Was it Hex that had like all the clothes, but then they also had like the little section where you could play Mario Kart. Like right there. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'd be posted, man. Oh, Montgomery Ward. Yes, there it is. Mm-hmm. Dude, I would be up in that joint playing Mario Kart when it first came out. Like, I didn't even have it at home. So I would go to the mall, which was across the street from me, just so I could play Mario Kart for like 2 to 3 hours. You know what I mean? In real life, until they kicked us out the damn store. You know? I was like, Mom ain't getting this for me right now, so I guess I got to go to the mall and play it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yeah. That was a good answer, Sherm.
I say a close second is Street Fighter 2. That's another game. If I see it, I have to put a quarter in. I don't care where I am. Me and K Murdoch have a lifelong rivalry in this game. That like we could be in Japan, London, down the street. If I see it, we both give each other that look, and we just get on the sticks. Like it just has to go down. So like Street Fighter for real. That's definitely
classic.
So right here, you would guess, but I don't want to offend you or nothing, but
here we go. I already know what he's about to say. You ain't shit, Cash.
Work, boy.
Okay. Who you use?
I read you, man.
Oh, well,
I'm nasty with him. You better not jump. You better not go low.
Typical. Okay. All right.
Who's your character?
I can pull out Honda for you. I mean, I like Ken, but if somebody's if it's a really good Ryu, I could pull out Honda and have a good one. Yeah, 100 hand slap.
Right. E Honda, aka the person who first said you can get these hands. You know what I mean? Right. Yep. You know, OG, you can get these hands.
Right.
Shout out to Marcus D. Marcus D has played Street Fighter 2 semi-pro, and his character's Ken as well. Mine is I usually bounce between, most of the time it's Chun-Li, and then occasionally I'll go Ryu depending on who I'm playing. You know what I mean? Like, you know how nice they are. But
I like Guile.
Guile. Yeah.
Guile nice too. Guile's cheap. Guile's definitely cheap. If you know how to use them, you can make people real mad.
Yeah. A lot of distance moves. He got a lot of distance joints.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So let me slide this in there real quick. Right now, looking at the consoles that's currently out, are you a PlayStation or a Xbox man?
Well, I used to be Team Xbox for a long time, and then for me, they just wasn't putting out enough games, like library exclusive games. Like I was like, come on, man, Sony got God of War, they got Last of Us, they got Spider-Man, like all these dope titles. Xbox is probably the better system right now, but they don't have no games.
They had a library.
So, right, but what they do have is this Game Pass, which I've been really into. Game Pass is like Netflix for games. Okay. So this is a game changer. You pay like $9 a month and you can play any game in the library. Yep. And so Sony is going to need to eventually copy this, because I think this is the future of games. Like, people are not going to keep paying $60 for trash games.
That's so right.
At some point, I keep thinking people are going to just eventually wake up, but it keeps happening. But like, I think Sony has to do something similar to kind of keep up. But Xbox just need a couple of hitters, man. If they can open up the checkbook or something and get either a Final Fantasy, they get something big.
Something exclusive.
Yeah, they just need to be the only system that has this something. I mean, Halo is always great, but Halo's not coming out till like next Christmas. So, but the Xbox is a great system because it's like really fast, and I like the Game Pass. But if you want games, gotta go PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
PlayStation guy myself.
Sorry, I'm a simple man, really. I'm a Nintendo loyalist. You know what I mean? I'm a Switch guy. I've never bought a system outside of Nintendo ever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And the Switch is dope, man. Switch is great. I love it, man. I love it. That Animal Crossing saved my life this year.
bro.
Saved my life. Me and my wife both play. Like, it's crazy.
Yo, it's crazy. I've never understood, like, people who love. It's funny. I think you're the first person to break it down to me and my wife, like people who just enjoy watching gameplay, and you articulated that better than anyone I've ever heard. Like, break it down. It's like, it's no different than watching people play sports. You know what I'm saying? You said something along those lines, and I was like, yeah. And so. Animal Crossing in particular, dude, I can sit and watch my daughter play Animal Crossing and just build, like, I can watch my daughter pay bills, build homes, you know what I mean? Greet new people in the neighborhood, work on my home, check her mail. Like, yo, it's just like, is this what her adult life gonna be like? Is this what you gonna do, baby? Like, dude, it's like, I feel like that joint is something that on paper doesn't sound like it should be as entertaining as it is, but it's dope, yo. Like, I don't know. Like, and it's funny, and I enjoy watching it more than I enjoy playing it. Like, my daughter, like, when I play it, it's cool, but like when she's playing it, she's doing stuff that's like, yeah, I ain't got the time to learn all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But dude, she made our Kwanzaa cards this year, like, using Animal Crossing, right? She went online, did some research, and found someone who designed dashikis in the game. And then she went and got the dashikis and had enough for each family member. And then we decorated the home to make it feel more African centered and all of that. And then, we took our Kwanzaa picture. And then she even got the bootleg Kanara and everything. You know what I mean? The colors wasn't right, but at least it had the same number of candles. Okay. I was like, let's get it. That's
dope, man. Yeah, Animal Crossing has like really, really brought families together during this time. Yeah. The amount of creativity you have within that game is dope. People say Minecraft is kind of like that too. I just never really got into it, but I think Animal Crossing has nailed it because it's simple and it's cute animals. You know, like, it's easy.
Right. Sassy animals too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Some of them give you a little tone, a little tude. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be like, oh, you got to leave the island, Brady.
You can't live here no more. You ain't welcome.
I can't live. I'm playing Animal Crossing. I'm straight murking people with God of War.
Well, you know what I'm saying? It's balance in the universe. We ain't the same. We over here, while we're building communities, you're destroying them. I mean, it's like,
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Ebb and flow.
There you go.
Exactly.
Such is life. Man. But yeah, man. Who's it? So I can't let you go without talking about the show that I feel like the world is talking about, and that, my friend, is WandaVision, bro. So have you been watching it?
Yes. I just caught up last night, and I was kind of blown away. I definitely don't want to give any spoilers if anybody hadn't seen it, but
let me stop you right there. Right? So on this show here, so because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and say what we usually say. Look, because I don't know if WandaVision gonna be in the title. It probably won't. So we'll give a spoiler warning only because you're here. But we typically say, look, if you click on this video and the name of a movie's in the title, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair,
right?
Fair. I understand. So yeah, man, it started off like crazy, but still, it was initially, this wasn't even a show I was interested in. I got to be honest. I thought I'm one of those that think Age of Ultron was the worst Avengers movie. Like, I wasn't super into it. But people are saying, like, now if you watch all this, then go back and watch it, you're gonna really like Age of Ultron. And it's a whole different movie now. So this is dope. I love what they did. It's super original, like doing the whole TV show angle. Like, and I used to love those shows, like Bewitched and all that stuff. Like, I used to watch this stuff with my mom, and so that was a great feeling to come back to that style of TV show. And then it just flips to like fourth episode. They just like, all right, here we go. Flip the table over on them. Like, you think you know what's going on? Okay. And man, I'm impressed, man. Disney can really do no wrong at this point. Like, these shows, man, they're killing. Between this and Mandalorian, like, If you don't have Disney Plus, like, what are you doing?
Yo, Disney Plus right now, and like, yo, like it's wild because in fact, look, the niggas who sitting with us right now, these niggas was cooking me when I told them, yeah, I'm talking about you, Sherm, and you, Cash. When I told these dudes I was getting Disney Plus, right? And like a lot of people, oh man, look, I'm throwing them under the bus.
But see, no, you gotta give the proper context.
What are you talking about here? Cut his mic.
I'm not
if I can't be honest amongst friends,
right? What are you talking about? Yeah, you talking about Disney Plus when it first got off the ground.
I mean, shows. But it wasn't. It was.
What did Raheem just say about catalog? Like, what's a console?
Right. Oh,
if you don't have a library, they didn't have a library at first.
Man, listen. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Like, as somebody who's had it since it came out, there's like so many gems in there. Like, one of the great shows that's on the joint, like which I said back when it first came out, is Jeff Goldblum's show. It's a show that you wouldn't even expect to be something that you would watch. Man. But Jeff Goldblum is such, man, look, this is
nobody watching that shit, man.
What? Hey,
Jeff Goldblum unless he's in fucking what was that? The Fly?
The Fly? Jurassic Park as well.
Rand, have you watched Jeff Goldblum show?
I watched one episode. It's good, man. It really is. Man. I had a homie tell me I need to watch it, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it.
It's an excellent show.
It's an excellent show. Like, it's not one you're not gonna buy the you're not
gonna buy Disney Plus because of it.
But it's a good sleeper.
Let me explain something to you first of all.
Here we go.
Talking to somebody who would strip, he would do a whole strip tease for a comic book or anything Disney. So he's going to prop this shit all the way up.
Yeah. And a strip tease, though?
He would do a whole session for
the views of Sherm are not necessarily
or some sort of Disney.
Wow. So he's the Disney stan, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. Stan is the Disney stan. Exactly.
Okay.
Get out of here.
You lost me at strip tease. I was like, well,
I felt like I was overreach. The only thing, like in terms of the Disney stuff, right? And look, man, I keep it a buck. Zootopia is a dope fucking film. Kid shit or not, like the content of that film, that shit is pure excellence by any standard. You know what I'm saying? Whether we're talking animation, writing, any of that shit. I don't give a fuck what people like. That movie and what it deals with and how it deals with racial profiling, that shit is dope on any level. Was it Big Hero 6? Same shit. And it's like, I feel like the caliber of shit that they are doing, you don't necessarily have to be in the kids movie or like, and look, Pixar, nigga, simple as that. Pixar, my nigga, Pixar. Like, yo, what the fuck has Pixar put out ever, right? Like that really hasn't like blown people away who actually kind of got over their own shit and took the time to sit down and watch it.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
It's all good. I got Disney Plus, baby.
I'm just saying. I mean, they said I'm out here doing striptease. You know what I'm saying? I just had to say, but I had to say, had to say.
Wow. Mandalorian is dope. I mean,
yes, it is.
WandaVision is dope. Falcon and
Winter Soldier. Come on.
Oh my god,
that's just gonna be fire.
Yeah,
we only a month out. We only a month out too.
Go team.
Yeah, I'm into it. I was probably most excited for the Loki show, which I think is gonna be dope.
That shit gonna be fire too.
They gonna kill them, man. Like, I love what they're doing right now. I was a little worried because last year was a down year for Marvel. They didn't do anything.
Nothing.
So they were just loading up. It turns out. So I'm ready. I think right. And if we can talk a little, spoiler talk, then do you think that this show, or at least what's happening now, is going to eventually lead to the introduction of the X-Men into this universe?
Yes. I think. Was it partly? I mean, just because of her character's history in the comics and different things she's been involved with. Obviously, who her and her brother's actual father is in the comics. I just really feel like they have too many different ways to just tie into like, the mutants and bringing them in. And like, if they don't do something with that, like, I feel like it'll be a waste. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that would be really, really, really disappointing. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say because it's really kind of contingent on, how much was written, like how far they were along in the writing process when the Fox deal happened, when that was final. So like, and we really don't know that. So, I mean, I'm hoping, man, I got my fingers crossed. I think it's a great opportunity. I'll tell you a show that's really far down the pipeline that I can't wait to see what Ryan Coogler does with that is now that they recently announced that there's going to be like a Welcome to Wakanda type of show, like basically just focused on like all of the different things happening around Wakanda outside of just the throne. That like you've heard about the deal that Ryan Coogler just inked with Disney, right?
Oh yeah, this is crazy. This is gonna be wild.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah, I was gonna say so the deal isn't just with Marvel. The deal is actually with Disney for all of their different platforms that they have. Where his company, I can't remember, it's like how many years the deal is for, and it's for a ridiculous amount of money. But basically, Coogler, his company is now signed with Disney to create exclusive content for all of their different platforms. And now, if we look at this dude's track record in terms of like how engaging the films are that he makes, like the type of conversation that he's able to create around the projects he makes, and just the cultural significance of these projects, right? Like, it's exciting, man. Cause I remember, I remember how I felt when I walked out of the theater after watching Fruitvale Station. You know what I mean? Like, and how profound an effect that movie had on me when I saw it. Yeah. I remember pleasantly surprised is a gross understatement. Like talking about like when I saw Creed and how good that joint was, I was just like, hey, yo, I did not expect this movie to hit this hard. Like it was amazing. And then when to see Black Panther finally, like, dude, like, that shit, man. And deeper than it being a great movie. Like, I was still working in education at the time. And I was actually pitching to the school I was at, trying to get them to take the kids, allow us to take the kids to the theater to see it. And I was working with a teacher at the school who was a history teacher. And so we were trying to develop curriculum around different things that actually happened in the world that were relevant to things in the film. You know what I mean? Like, and to kind of give historical context for certain things that were in the comic as well, to show people that, yes, this is a fictional thing, but it's based on real things, right? Like from the Dahomey and just so many different things. And so, we went through all this trouble, pitched it to the school, and they hit us with the no. They hit us with the straight up no. So then the school was doing testing that year. And a lot of these kids, like when they weren't testing, they were just sitting in class doing nothing for like hours. And then they started moving large groups of kids. I mean, hundreds of kids are being moved into the auditorium and sitting with nothing to do for hours. Movie finally comes out later that year on Blu-ray. And man, I went ahead, I picked up 2 copies, one that was just for the school and then one for myself. And I said, I got permission to set it up for the kids to watch. Hey, dude. Like that day, man, that was probably, I had a lot of special moments in my career working in education for like 20 years. But that particular day, watching the kids watch the film and then like watching them come up to me, because I did a whole intro like to the film. I had like a conversation with the kids afterwards about like what hit them and all of this. And these are high school kids. And man, the stuff they were coming up to me saying, like, because I basically, when the kids would get off the school bus in the morning, I'm greeting them every morning. Before this film came out, I'm like, peace, king, peace, queen, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. This is how I talk to them all the time. They see that movie, kids who never say that shit to me, right? Never say that shit back to me. Yo, rest of school, yeah, they say peace, king, peace, queen. Like, and like other moments in that movie and how it affected them from the kids, like seeing me in the hall start throwing the little Wakanda Forever joint up and all of these little things. Wow. But just like, oh man, like I knew what it was going to mean to these kids. And so it was dope, like to finally have that experience. So to know that he's going to get the opportunity to not just do that for Marvel, be able to do it through Disney, which is potentially going to hit even more young kids, and what type of images he's going to choose to put in front of them. You know what I mean? Like, because he's not just choosing any type of content, in terms of the movies he's making, man. Like, he's telling some really powerful stories. And because he could have directed any type of comic book movie, but he chose to do Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like, and so, yeah, man, it's exciting, dude. I think this deal is going to be extremely groundbreaking. And, yeah, dude, I'm here for all that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited, man. That's going to be dope. Not to give away too much. The last chapter of my book, it ends the week that the Black Panther movie came out. And what I was going through at that time, I was in London when I saw the movie. And like to be able to see, people of African descent on the other side of the world and how they were affected by these images as well was just such a great perspective for me. So I was like, okay, that's the cutoff point. Like, that's where I need to end this, because it brought the whole thing back to me about images and, like we are what we see, and what we believe is based on what we're given, by TV and media, you know what I'm saying? So it all felt kind of full circle for me. So I was like, that's a great ending point for me, because like I was sitting behind, an African, couple, like an older couple who was like crying the whole movie, just like, I can't believe, and I just felt like, wow, like this is so powerful. So you're right. Like Ryan Coogler is very deliberate about the images that he chooses to portray, within his, stories, and I love the fact that with the Black Panther movie, like him starting it off in Oakland and ended it in Oakland, like where the Black Panthers began. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is not an accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an accident. Like I love that about it. And it's those little things, man. I know he's gonna kill it, man. Like, it couldn't happen to a better dude. Like he's gonna put his foot in it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like up to his calf muscle. It's gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's gonna be crazy, man. Hey, bro, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming on, dude.
Man, this was fun, man. I would do this anytime. So I love y'all, man. And I appreciate the conversation. And it's always good to talk to some brothers about some fun things. So I appreciate y'all having me, man. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, brother.
Likewise. We got to hang out when this whole thing's over.
Indeed,
bro. You got to get them sticks up. Don't think
name the arcade. I'll meet you there.
That's what's up.
And we can do this. What else I do on Fridays with my stream now? I do fighting game Fridays. So we play Street Fighter. We play Street Fighter 5 because it's cross-platform. So if you have PS4 or PC, you can play against each other. Okay. So we just get all the people that are in my Discord or in my chat groups, and anybody can just come in and play. So if y'all ever around on a Friday and want to get it in, let me know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Definitely. That's what's up, man. We appreciate the invite, man. Hey, once again, man, thanks for being on the show, dude. And everybody, y'all make sure y'all check out his book, man. Dream Master's out right now. It's excellent book, a memoir for my good friend Raheem Megaran Jarbo, in stores right now, available on Amazon as well, correct?
Correct. You can go to dreammasterbook.com as a list of stores. I put them in order of my personal preference. I put the Black owned bookstores first.
There you go.
Excuse me. And then pardon me again. And then Amazon, I saved for last. Right. So if you absolutely got to get it on Amazon, it's Prime. It'll come in a couple of days. So I understand. But, buy Black if you can. There's several great stores on there that could use the support. So, go grab that.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. And fellas, he actually dropped the link for y'all in the private chat for y'all to grab the book as well. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sure. Appreciate that.
No problem. Enjoy. Let me know what y'all think of it.
But everybody, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shout out to our guest Mega Ran once again for joining us. And brothers, man, I love y'all. Hey, what was the joint we were supposed to do? Real live, no sites. Best thing that happened to you this week, and on a super positive note. Who wants to set that off?
Best thing that happened to me this week. I woke up.
Right.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, this
every day.
We all cooped up in the damn house. What shit? Ain't much that could happen. I hope not much happening to you right now.
Right.
I'm regular.
How about you, Ram? Best thing that happened to you this week?
Well, I mean, I'm NDA'd up to my head on it, but I got a really, really dope opportunity this week. And it came from a cover story that they did for the arts newspaper out here. The top front of the arts section, they had a little picture of me with my book. And then from there, I got a really dope phone call. So yeah, that's all I can say. But let's hope
I can't wait to hear
about
it,
something
man.
really dope in the future.
Yeah, man.
Blessings on blessings, man.
Yeah,
that's right.
Make it rain out this joint. Yeah, man. What was it? For me, I would say definitely agree with y'all, man. Just waking up every day and being greeted by people who love me and who I love. On top of that, I got this big opportunity as well that will hopefully be closing out this week and will be legit. And it, this past year has been the year that I've done more music for video games than I've done in my entire career. And it looks like this opportunity will lead to me doing this far more consistently than I've done it in the last 8 to 9 months, which is crazy.
Stan.
Yeah, it's a mega stand. that sounds like a project, bro.
Hey, it definitely does. I'll call you, brother.
Hey, let's talk. Let's talk. And speaking of projects, last thing, we do have a collab. We have several collabs out, but the most recent one is a tribute to the Bond franchise. The song is called "The Name Is." It's about to hit 10,000 streams actually just on Spotify, so it's doing pretty well right now since it just came out. So definitely check that out. Shout out to all the homies on that: Mason Lieberman, Omega Sparks, Zed Tabani. Who else? Help me out. Donna Burt as well.
Richie Branson.
Yes, Richie Branson, homie. Kokai. Yes, Grammy nominee. Kokai. Yeah, man. So many dope folks, but definitely check that song out as well. And we done for real. All right. So everybody have a great night, man. Ram, once again, thank you. Fellas, I love y'all, man. Y'all be good.
Man.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
Peace, Ram.
All right.